Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I am so excited to be on again. I feel like there's a chance I could be on every day this week. If the stars align, I have so much to share with you guys, and there's a lot that I want to share before the end of the catalog, and then there's so much to share with the new catalog coming next week. So, yeah, you're gonna see me a lot because I just have so much to share. And I feel like I'm finally getting things together and cleaned up and everything. Like, you should see my desk. It looks fantastic. It also looks like I'm not doing anything because there's no projects out. But I certainly am. I am super excited to share with you this card. Again, major shout out to Denise, who shared this card with me, and I was like, can I copy that? It is stunning. So you guys know how much I love the color and contour bundle, and specifically the scalloped contour dies. So that is what we are working on today, but I have a fun trick to share with you, and your mind is going to be blown. So yeah, we are going to get started. I think I have everything out. I have a couple of these that I'm going to make. I might not make like all of them, but I do have a few different like variations and stuff to share. And you might want to see the trick a few times just to go through that. So whether you're joining on Facebook or on YouTube, welcome. So excited to have you this morning. I don't know. I guess I always think it's kind of obvious because you guys are potentially on my page. But yeah, I'm Laura at Laura's Stamp Pad, in case you didn't know. I guess I could be somebody else at Laura's Stamp Pad. Also known as Mom, or who knows, the crazy lady. I associate with all of those. Hi, Mary. Welcome. Share some of your warm weather. We had 80s over the weekend, and it was phenomenal. Like hot, actually. And then we had a freeze warning last night, and it was like 30 degrees last night. What is up with this? Okay, so first we have our card base. I have Highland Heather as my card base. And then I have the biggest scallop. So the scallop contour dies has 4, I think it is, 5. So this one has like a scallop to it. Well, they all have scallops. So cold today and raining. Oh, well, that sounds like Illinois. Although today is supposed to be sunny. It's still cold, but it's supposed to be sunny. So I'm going to take it. So this one has like a cutout scallop. Super gorgeous. Love that because then it kind of has like a peekaboo of the paper behind it, as you can see here. Then the next one down is a scallop, and it's got like these little dotted edges for like a little like stitching, but these are dots. These are like dashes. So these are more like stitching because they have like that dash, whereas this is just a dot. And I don't know how well you can see, but there's the dash. This one is the dash. I don't have a die cut right now of the dots. So I feel like you can see that. That's the dash. The bigger one is the dots. Then this one here, it has like a dot on all 4 corners and then like a line. Oh, I guess there's actually a dot on in the center of the 2 short sides. And then a line. And the line is actually like cut through. Like, so like, you know, if you were to like wiggle it, it would actually like open up and be cut through. Of course, when you lay it flat, then it just looks like a line, like not quite big enough to allow like cardstock or like color to come through. So it's almost like a solid line rather than this dash. So it kind of is just more like of a texture look than it is like a full like peekaboo thing. But you could like slide ribbon through or something like that. Then the last one is this little small label. This one is a scallop, and then it's got dots in it, but these are very large dots. And I do actually have one of these. So you can, again, you can see through that. You could even like lace through like a baker's twine or something like that on this one. So that one is super cute. Okay, so what we're using is we're using the scallop and the dash for today's project. So it's like number 1 and number 3, I guess, because it's kind of in the middle of the 5. Yeah, 1 and 3, if that's how you see that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add that large scallop to all of our card bases. Remember, making multiples is always easier than making one of every card that you create. If anything, I always say to make 2, because a half a sheet of cardstock or a sheet of cardstock cut in half makes 2 cards right there. That's 2 card bases. And then a lot of these layers are like a quarter sheet. I feel like it's really hard to like line this up because I'm looking at the scallops, I'm looking at the solid, I'm like not envisioning it correctly. How is everyone doing on this Tuesday? I feel like I should have, yep, here's the last one. I feel like it should be later in the week already, but I will take it, I guess. Oh, that one was still attached. Ah. And I think it's supposed to rain later in the week, so I'm kind of like trying to soak it up early in the week. There's all of my card bases with that scallop. And then now I'm adding some of that hand-penned designer series paper. And you know, since I'm making multiples, when I make multiples, the other thing is I'm more adventurous. Because I'm like, well, I've already made one of those, so why not make a different one? So I'm actually going to flip some of this paper over and use that purple backside because it's stunning. Although I really like that yellow on there. I've already put adhesive on. There's nothing I can do about it. Because let me tell you, that is stunning as well. I do like the variation in color, but that one is pretty fabulous as well. And then hopefully I have another one in here. There it is. And then a crazy thing that I did is for the inside, rather than adding a piece of basic white to the inside to write my message on, I actually, I feel like I have a hair. I actually use Pool Party. Pool Party is a light color, so you could easily write on that. Gives the card a little bit more texture and color by having another offset color there. And it's just a little bit more fun. Yes, I like to put dies through at an angle. Anytime you have like a flat edge like this, it's always better to put it through like diagonal than it is to put it through straight. Sometimes your die, like it'll pop through, like you'll notice like as you're cranking it, it kind of goes pop. And it almost like jumps this. And so sometimes it doesn't get a nice strong cut. So it's easier to crank through, and it gives for a better cut when it goes diagonal, because like, you know, imagine popping through and then you're doing side, 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 and then a giant pop through. Whereas if you did it like this, it's like even pressure of like 2 pieces everywhere. So yes, thank you for that reminder, Mary. I appreciate that. Okay, so for the inside, I feel like I'm like waiting or making you guys like wait on like the whole technique thing. But for the inside, I do have the pool party here. And to use up all of the designer series paper, some of the pieces I had like a square left, so I cut a diagonal and put 2 in. I think that's how my original is. And then I realized that that is kind of a bit much. Like there's not a lot left to write. So I guess if all you wanted to say was happy birthday, love Laura, you certainly could. And there is nothing wrong with that. The designer paper is stunning. That is perfect. I thought it was a little much, especially whenever I have to write Brad, Laura, Claire, and Alex. And I write really, really big. So I do think that this might be a bit much. You're welcome to use like just one of them. My intent was to just like use up all the designer paper. So that's kind of where that came from. Actually, like I feel like this one goes in this top corner. So I think I'm just going to use one of the rectangles for this one. Rectangle. It's a triangle. Maybe I'm not the best to help Claire with her shapes. This one was just the leftover strip at the top. So I'll just add this down the side. Little hair left over at the bottom that we will trim off. Is the suspense killing you guys on how on how to do what I said in the description or in the title? Okay, so then this one I'm gonna do just as one triangle. And then let's not forget that the last one I'm going to do the purple side. Okay, so it looks like I have all squares cut into triangles left. Technically, I could make a whole nother card with some of those triangles too. Ooh, I don't know. I'm really loving this, the purple side. Although it does kind of make the pool party look a little like off because it's like, where does that come in? I don't see any pool party in this card. Whereas this one, you know, you can see it in the background and stuff. Okay, so now we have all of the card bases all ready to go. Now it is time to add the next scallop. So I have the stamp set, Color and Contour. So there's so many different greetings you can use. You're absolutely amazing. Here for you now. And then on the inside, you could put and in better days ahead. So very happy for you and thank you for everything. I have both thank you for everything and so very happy for you out. And I put away my black ink pad because I cleaned. You really like the pool party insert? Do you usually do white or vanilla inserts? Or do you ever branch out and do colors like that? I just recently started doing colors like that and I'm loving it. It's like, why have I never done this before? And I'm just going to move this around. Maybe I don't want to do up there. But just to have some variation. When I did this card for Stamp Club, a lot of people did Happy Mother's Day for this card. It does make a fabulous Mother's Day card. I should have probably done a few Mother's Day, but that's okay. I have my main mothers done, my mother and my mother-in-law. Those are all done, but I usually send cards to like my sister-in-law, my sister, and then depending on how many I get done, then I sometimes send them to aunts or friends or anyone, depending, like I said, I would love to send a million Mother's Day cards out. Just because I think we should all celebrate. I feel like I say this, and that is a lot of dimensionals, but you guys know me. I feel like I say this all the time, but I really feel like everyone should celebrate Mother's Day. Because we're all motherly, whether we actually have children or fur babies or just, a sweet friend to a niece, a nephew, the neighbor or anything like that. I know and so many teachers are so motherly, whether they're actually mothers themselves. So there's just a lot. And I really think that we should celebrate that. Okay. So now this scallop just goes in the center, and I actually am doing double dimensionals because this piece is up on dimensionals as well as the final flower. You should totally try out colors, Mary. Just wing it one of these days and say, I'm going to do it. And yeah, you'll love it. It is amazing. Sometimes you just need that little push to branch out, and that's when the magic happens. Using up all my mostly used sheets of dimensionals. I very rarely open a pack and start with fresh ones because I always feel like I'm just using up the ones from classes or things like that. No dimensional left behind. I use that entire edging and everything. Speaking of teachers, I still need to get my teacher gifts and everything done. I can't believe that school is almost over. And since Claire only goes twice a week, I'm like, oh my goodness, I have a ton of teacher friends and they're all counting down. I have 12 more days, 10 more days, 18 more days, whatever it might be. And so then I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so soon. And then I think, oh my gosh, if they have 18 days and they go 5 days a week, Claire only has 4 days, and that's making me panic. So yeah, it's so crazy. This year, I think I'm okay. Next year when she finishes preschool and goes to, I almost said graduation or college, then I'm really going to lose it. But when she goes into kindergarten, I think I'm really going to be a hot mess. But we're not there yet. Okay. So now we are going to do that final flower that you guys have been waiting for this whole time because of the teaser of the subject line. So here we go. I'm going to show you how you can die cut and then stamp. So I always say to stamp first and then die cut, right? It's easy to line it up, that sort of thing. So one of the things that I will say about this image is the die is, well, and the stamp are very skinny here on the end. So this little piece is skinny. You can also really technically wiggle this around and make it however you wish, which is awesome with photopolymer stamps, but it's not awesome when it no longer fits in the die. So I actually stamped it twice one time and it didn't line up with the die, and then it was kind of frustrating and I was like, well, this is no fun. Come on, we've all been there before. So, I wanted to show you guys how you can actually die cut first and then stamp second. So, I'm going to bring in my mini and I'm going to use some scrap paper. Yes, fits on this one. And we're just going to crank this little sucker through. So this is going to give us our die cut flower that I have not stamped yet. Okay. And now to line this up with the stamp would be fairly difficult, right? To try to get that lined up, you're probably thinking, I can't do that. It's too like steady and crazy and I can't see and yada yada. Okay, I totally get that too, and I'm not wasting something that I've already die cut. So I want to show you. I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus. I already have a die cut piece and I secured it into the corner of my Stamparatus. So actually this is the outline. So like the one I just did is this one, but I have a bigger one here. So that one is secure on my Stamparatus. Like I have a little piece of tape down here and then the one magnet. I'm going to take my stamp and lay it in the die cut image, making sure that my stem is even and my leaf is there and everything is good. And then now I'm going to close the top plate to pick up my stamp. And then now I'm going to take my die cut image, puzzle piece it in there, just like that. And now I'm ready to stamp. So let's ink this image up. And then now we're going to stamp it down. And now we have a stamped and die cut image. How amazing is that? Did I just blow your mind? Isn't that super, super cool? I love it. I totally should have had more of these die cut. And you don't need to move your, you don't need to move this or your stamp. It is set for all of your future ones. So I can just die cut another one and keep going. I did this, like I said, for Stamp Club, and everyone got a die cut flower. And so they just passed this around and stamped it. And then also, if you end up like, not inking up the stamp all the way or anything like that, you can just ink it up again, stamp it again to fill in that missing spot, because Stamparatus is going to do it in the right spot every time. Line up the next one. Finger in the ink pad. What's a crafting session without inky fingers? It's amazing. Aren't you excited about this? Now we can stamp it down all over again. And there's our second one. Okay, so now that you guys see that, I'm going to bring in some markers. So I just have Highland Heather and Soft Succulent, or I'm sorry, Mint Macaron. So Highland Heather and Mint Macaron. And I'm just going to color my flower now. So let me show you. I did dark. So these are the Stampin' blends. I have the light and the dark. So I did the dark just like in random spots on the leaves and the stem. This is where I don't feel like I'm an artist whatsoever. So I'm just winging it. I don't know, maybe here. Okay. So I just kind of did like random little spots. Then now I'm going to take the light one and go over all down, up and down the stem, finish filling in those leaves and go over that dark just a hair. And I always get people that ask me which tip I use, the pen tip or the marker tip. And I use both. It just kind of depends on what I'm doing. I used to always use the marker tip. Always, always, always. I would use the marker tip. I just felt more like comfortable with it. And then now I almost always, always, always use the pen tip. So I don't know. I guess I just changed, or I don't know. I will say, like, the marker tip, a lot of people say, well, the pen tip's got a finer tip, right? And that I don't know that I would agree with. If the marker is nice and new and fresh, then the marker tip can be very fine and you can really get like in wispy areas. Now, after it's been used some, then the tip kind of like frays out a little. And so then it's not the more fine tip. So now I'm going to take the dark Highland Heather and I'm just going to do the lines of the inside of each of the flowers. Again, this is where I'm not an artist. I don't feel like I know the whole light and dark and where is your shadow and like all of that. I usually just use the stamped image to help me figure it out. Or I don't even know if I could say give me guidance, because I think somebody would probably say that is not guidance. You didn't do it right. But that's okay. So I did like the tip of the little bud. I did all the inside lines of all of the flowers. And then now I'm just going to go back through with the light. And like, since I'm doing a big area, I can use the marker tip and just kind of like, see how you can like lay it on its side and really like, you can get close to the edge and do that like fine little tip. You can definitely like get more coverage laying it down and gently like placing the marker over it. Whereas with the pen, you're kind of like a pen a little bit more. And I like to do a little like circular motion in the middle to help blend out that dark color some. Oh, thanks, Mary. I appreciate it. You guys are so sweet. Oh, and I almost forgot the little bud. Okay. And there we have the flower. I have seen, you can take like a pool party or any like light blue, balmy blue, and do like the background to kind of give like I don't know, it just kind of makes it look more real, where you like kind of do like a little blue around an image or something. This one's die cut, so there's not a lot of space to do that blue, but you could simply do that for a fabulous look. So now I'm going to add this to my project. I am going to use mini dimensionals, even cut in half on those leaves. Oh, it wants to take all of them. So a little cut in half mini on that leaf. A little cut in half mini on that leaf. And then now I can do big ones on the rest. So I'm not actually adding any adhesive to the very bottom of the stem. There's no adhesive down here. There's 4 up on the flowers, a half on this leaf, and a half on that leaf. And now we're just going to add it to the card. You can add it angled. You can add it straight up and down. And then I used some of my favorites. If you watched the video yesterday of my 18 favorites, these are the iridescent rhinestones. And I'm just going to add one there. And then these are the badonkadonk ones. These are huge. I'm going to add a big one there, but then I'm going to come over here and get another smaller one. I feel like I need to move him down a little. Well, he doesn't want to move, so I guess he's staying there then. Super, super cute. I love it. I hope you guys love it as much as I do. So much fun. I won't do all the coloring with you guys here just because that will take forever for all that coloring. And I don't really want to assemble it until it is actually colored. So that's why I'm not going to like finish assembling them. But I super can't wait to do this one with the all purple because it's stunning. So stay tuned. I will try to take pictures of all of those and then post them for you guys to see. So those are my need to finish the flower, but then here are the 2 finished ones. Yeah, this one definitely came out darker than that one. So you can really play with it as much as you want. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I do still have catalogs to send out. So if you're in need of one of the new catalogs, it starts on May 3rd. May 5th, I am having my new catalog launch party. It will be right here on Facebook as well as on YouTube, live 7:30 p.m. CT. We'll be showing off samples, new products, and stamping together. It'll be super, super fun. So stay tuned for that. You like the darker flower? This one? Yeah. To me, it just kind of comes out differently, I feel like. Maybe I used all dark on that one and didn't do any of the two-tone shadowing. Who knows? But anyway, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Don't forget that the last chance products do end on May 2nd, knowing that the new catalog comes out on May 3rd. So if there's anything that is retiring, you definitely want to get it before it's gone. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Love, hugs, and prayers to all of you guys. Have a wonderful day and happy stamping.